Hey guys, Dadtries, and this is HumanitZ A. HumanitZ A has been on my wish list for a while, and I've been kind of watching it develop. The devs are actually updating this pretty regularly, which is really one of the only reasons why I went ahead and purchased this game. I grabbed this one on sale for $16, and the regular price is $20. I had been kind of holding off on it, but then a friend of mine picked it up and wanted to play it with me, and I said, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Kind of thinking I could use a game to beat up for my channel, but ended up just having some good, genuine fun instead. What really caught my attention for this one at first was the fact that it looked a lot like Project Zomboid, and I absolutely adore Project Zomboid. I have a ton of hours into that game. It's definitely, after RimWorld, it's probably my favorite game, but RimWorld definitely takes the cake. If you haven't played RimWorld, do yourself a favor, go play RimWorld. But anyways, HumanitZ, it really did give off some Project Zomboid vibes, and Project Zomboid has been around for a really long time, so anything new that has the nuts to come out and try to directly compete with Project Zomboid, these devs really have a lot of, I'm going to say, intestinal fortitude. The developer is Yo-Dubs Studios. Yo-Dubs Studios. And so far, what they've delivered is a decently playable game. It's absolutely early access, so take that with a grain of salt. However, keep in mind, Project Zomboid is also early access, and both games are charging the same amount of money. So this one's a tough sell. It's undeniable that this game is kind of a copycat. That's probably not the right word. That's not a nice word. This game is definitely inspired by Project Zomboid, and you can tell that just by, first of all, the view. And it is cool. One of my favorite features about the game is that you can rotate the camera. Also, it's one of my least favorite features. I wish they would just do an effect where the environment or the house that you're in would just be transparent so you can see through it. That's what Zomboid does, and this game does not. You have to rotate the camera. So I have actually just missed stuff inside buildings because I'm so used to just being able to see where my character is. This is not the case. If you want to actually look around a building, you have to rotate your camera. By default, it's Q and E. So it really just takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you're used to rotating the camera on your own, it's not so bad. I actually really like the inventory system in this game. So you start off with next to nothing. I think you have 4 pockets. There is a perk you can put in to double the amount of pockets that you have, which gives you 8 slots. And that's infinitely useful, I think. I actually don't have that perk. I found it after our play session last night as I was just kind of going through and looking at some of the different perks that I had completely neglected in the first place. And after about three and a half hours, I actually started to feel like I was getting the hang of it. It actually took us that long to figure out how to actually build like actual things like storage chests and crafting tables and things like that, because they're not in the regular crafting menu. You actually have to have a hammer and then push B before you get anything. And the building menu and everything looks actually a lot better than Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid has a ton of mods. Obviously, if there's something you want to build, it's probably either in the vanilla game or there's a mod for it. In this, I really haven't explored everything that there is to build, but it really looks like there's a lot for you to be able to do, a lot of customization to be had so that you can play with your friends. But on that note, currently, there is no dedicated server ability. It's all peer-to-peer. You're going to have someone host, and if that particular friend is not online, then you're not playing that map. Not a huge deal to some people, but the dedicated server aspect is nice, especially for my group of friends. You know, we're not always online at the same time. So it is nice to just have that server there all the time for when anybody wants to play. And the devs have mentioned that it's in the works, so they are working on providing the ability for us to have dedicated servers. It's just not currently there yet. There's a few things that are a little cheesy And by that, I just mean kind of like your stereotypical video game cheesiness. Like right out of the gate, I decided to test the durability of a nearby barrel, and it exploded and just about killed me. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm thinking back to like the 007 era where you shoot a barrel and it explodes, even though, you know, in 2023 as gamers we have all kind of collectively decided that shooting a barrel does not necessarily mean a barrel is going to explode. Well, in this case I hit it with a hammer and it just absolutely exploded. In another instance, I took a couple swings at a vehicle and it caught on fire, so naturally I ran away, because Grand Theft Auto has prepared me for this exact moment in my gaming career. So thank you, Rockstar. A lot of things look and feel very clunky. We definitely got stuck in a couple places, and we had to use some of the special emotes to kind of glitch our way out of it. That was, I don't know. Again, the game really does need a lot of work right now. I haven't played it on the Steam Deck. I just don't think it's going to work at all. I already get frame rate drops on my rig, which is nothing spectacular, but it's definitely better than the Steam Deck. And I played at 2K on my PC, and I get some significant frame rate drops. I've got the graphics lowered down to like medium. It just doesn't quite seem well optimized yet. The controller support's not there either, and I just think that it would be an absolute nightmare. If you were going to play it on the Steam Deck, it would have to be at a docking station plugged in, and then you're trying to ask the Steam Deck to probably run this game at like 1920 by 1080, and the Steam Deck already hates that resolution for most games, so I'm just going to go ahead and say don't bother on the Steam Deck. It's nowhere close to being verified. It's currently listed as unsupported, so just don't bother. But I think that's just kind of to be expected. Again, this game is super early access. My only real complaint is that they're asking $20 for this, and so is Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid is going to give you hours and hours and hours of quality, bug-free entertainment, and especially for being in early access, Project Zomboid is just leaps and bounds ahead of this one. What this has going for it, on the other hand, is the fact that this is running on Unreal Engine 4. So I think this has the potential to be a very good game, especially if the developers keep putting the same kind of attention into it and the updates that they're sending out. I'm always afraid of early access games, of just kind of taking my money and running. That's happened. But YoDub seems pretty connected to its community, so I don't know. I don't really expect it from them. But if it happens, I'll be holding a pitchfork with you, so at least there's that. We can be grumpy about it together. A couple last thoughts here. The map is pretty big, but it's very empty. It doesn't really feel lived in. The villages are just kind of scattered about randomly. Obviously, they're on the roads. There's some cabins to be found, but really, they're just pretty empty. And that's kind of stuff to be expected with early access. I'm not too worried about that. I think that's probably final touches kind of deal. Also, the wildlife is going to need a little bit of work. We suddenly found ourselves hunting.
You got it. Got them both.
Now we need to
there's a buck right over there. Northwest.
Well, right here in front of me. Duck, Tim. See. Nice.
What?
I just really hope they give the wildlife a little bit more work before a full release. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't, but that's pretty bad. I don't mean to sound so hard on HumanitZ. I think it's just because I have such high hopes for it, and the bar is just set so high with Project Zomboid being such a close cousin to this game. I think they have a good thing going. I think it's a lot simpler to learn than Project Zomboid, which is going to be attractive to a lot of players. So I really just, if they can continue to make the kinds of improvements and additions that they have been, HumanitZ is going to be one of my favorite games, no doubt. So here's hoping. I really hope the developers continue as they have been. This is going to be a great one. I wouldn't blame you for hesitating on purchasing the game, but at least put it on your wish list. Keep an eye on it because it really does have a lot of potential. It's just 20 is really steep for what you get with this one. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. That's it. Take it easy.